All right, we're playing Up Jumps the Boogie by Timbaland and Magoo, one of my favorite songs. Larry H. Gardner, Bag of Headlines and Headaches with Nicole Wells. And before the Nucleus deal phone call, I would like to have her explain the last 2 points on her campaign flyer, which is enhanced city services and youth opportunities. Now, you don't think that the youth and we don't have advanced services in Ward 10? Not enough?
Not enough, no, especially after talking to some of the parents. My thing was, okay, after school, somebody needs to, I don't know, eat or do their chores and then read a book, do some arithmetic, because from what I can see, the report card for CMSD and for some of the students, knowledge is not exactly being imparted the way that it should be. So, but I talked to the parents and they're saying that their kids don't have anything to do. And so what I wanted to do was expand the hours of the community service centers in the ward. It looks like all the youth service center parts are closed basically by the time the kids got out of school. And then I wanted to see about actually building us a state-of-the-art community development center. They have one in another ward in 9. It's very nice, and I wanted to bring that here to our ward.
Okay.
Because some of the people can't travel. With regards to, I think you skipped safe communities.
Yes.
Okay. With regards to safe communities, quite frankly, because I was talking to somebody about this just today. We were campaigning today. We need more police officers. I talked with the commander, and he said that there are approximately 1,300 police officers, and we need 1,700 minimally to be effective in terms of keeping the community safe.
Do you think they need training, more training?
That was going to be my next point. I'm not talking about the Michael Braylos. Those are not the police officers.
Yeah, those people need to be fired.
Absolutely, fired and jailed. So,
right.
But what I want is for the folks to be trained, police officers to be trained according to the Obama department's consent decree. The cameras aren't enough because some of the officers are turning them off for whatever reason. And then on top of that, something like 82% of all city workers in Cleveland do not live in Cleveland. So yeah, that's that. When I heard that number, I was like, wow.
Interesting.
So I think they need to bring that back.
Right.
Bring it back.
Right. All right, I'm on Facebook Live. Robert Dollar, JJ Harts, Letitia Bell from Akron, Gail Sparks, who is also running for Ward 4. Good luck to you tomorrow. Christian Omar Medina, who's running for Ward 14. Cleveland, good luck to you tomorrow. True Withers from California. Pretty much they are watching on Facebook Live. Now, Nicole, here's the question for you. You said a couple of things the last segment, but the one thing is that what in your heart, what intangible that you have that no other candidate in this particular city council race has that none of them have?
Well, besides my educational background and my prowess, so to speak, for getting things done, because I told you I bring solutions and my background exemplifies that. I have pure desires in terms of pure intentions in terms of actually serving the people. You know, I walked through Glenville, and here's the thing: a lot of people over there, they've been conditioned to believe that this is the way that things should be, and that it cannot get any better than that. I recognize the need, I see it, and I want to get in there and change things. Quite frankly, I am the most qualified candidate, and that's not an arrogant statement. It's just the truth. I've met the other candidates. I've looked at their backgrounds, and I'm the most qualified candidate. It's just that simple.
Right.
And I put the work in. I've had volunteers go out, but guess what? I'm out with those volunteers. You have some people in this race who have not walked this ward or even walked a street because they have the funding to basically hire volunteers to walk it for them. So
pretty much you walk the street, you walk with them.
Absolutely. I can't ask volunteers that are basically volunteering for me for free to go out and walk on my behalf if I'm not doing it either.
So pretty much anything that you ask somebody to do, you would do it as well. Like a coach is like, if I can execute this play, you can execute this play too.
Absolutely, or at least be willing to. Yeah, I mean that has to be there. That servant leadership piece has to be there, and that's what it is with me. I mean, we're supposed to be, assuming I'm elected, we're supposed to be public servants. We're supposed to respond to the people. We're supposed to be held accountable by the people. I look at the performance of leadership in general in this race, and it's just like, if these same people who are already in these positions were to perform in corporate America, because that's where I am now, in the way that they perform in this race, guess what? They'd be fired. You know, and my CEO, I'm telling you right now, he and I are friends, and you have to produce. I have to produce in order to keep my job. It's just that simple.
pretty much, and you have to produce in this particular position as far as people. What as far as people person, where do you see yourself ranked as far as being a people person? In your mind.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably an 11. I enjoy engaging with people. Not to mention, you have to understand with the work that I do, it's relationship based. My work as a behavioral scientist, and I mean, I've lectured in several different colleges and universities over the years. I've trained everybody from those just out of high school in a college class all the way up to executives on people skills. It's called interpersonal development. So my people skills are definitely there because I'm connecting with people who ordinarily, in some cases, just would not vote. So, I mean, I'm bringing it. I'm letting them know what I bring to the table. And, I mean, I'm also letting them know I'm not a career politician. I think that's important. I think many times in this community, we vote according to name recognition.
Right.
So... it's interesting because oftentimes those that we recognize, they're not the best fit for the position. To say the least.
And bomb! Dropping a bomb on them, Nicole? You dropping some dimes right now.
Well, I'm trying.
All right. So, speaking of recognition, today is the 16th anniversary of September 11th.
Yeah.
Now, I said in the beginning where I was at. I was about to be interviewed for a second job, and I was already working the first job. I was off on that day. Where were you at September 11th?
September 11th, I was in grad school. I was in my bed asleep. I remember I had just had my cable disconnected. I got into a horrible fight with my cable company, and I disconnected it. Haven't gotten cable or DirecTV since, but that's a different story. But I literally was in bed, and I woke up to a phone that would not stop ringing. And it was my sister basically telling me to, she told me to turn on the TV, but I told her I don't have a program. I had a blue screen. And she told me that planes had flown into the World Trade Center buildings. So that's where I was. I was in bed asleep when it happened. I pulled an all-nighter, if I remember, studying for some exam or something. And that's what I was doing. But I still remember it. It's interesting that you asked me that question.
You did an all-nighter. You were you were asleep.
Yeah.
And then you woke up grad school. What school did you attend at that time?
At that time, if I'm not mistaken, I was at Cleveland State. I believe I was finishing up one graduate degree, and I was entering the, my MBA program.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember because I had to go to work later on that evening. And I just remember the phone ringing incessantly.
So did you, did they cancel work for you, or did you still go in that evening?
No, we still had to go to work. I mean, as a matter of fact, I don't recall having class that day, but I know we had class the next day. Life still went on. So
right.
It was devastating though to kind of realize what happened and then to actually see it, because like I said, at the time I didn't have programming, and I don't remember how I saw it, if I went to YouTube while I was at school or what, but I remember seeing the planes crash into the building, and it's just interesting. And I actually was watching a documentary on that. It's called Loose Change. It was on Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken, where they keep replaying it. I mean, it's surreal to watch it now because I've seen it so many times, but it's definitely something that's indelible. You don't forget that type of thing just watching it.
Exactly, I understand that. Brandon Hall is watching on Facebook Live. Thank you, Brandon. Hello. And if you have any more questions, 216-694-8910. Now, you said something about the Amazon deal in North Randall. Now, what businesses do you want to, if you are elected, if you pass the primary, pretty much that's the pretest,
right.
And then if you win in November, that's the final. What businesses do you want to bring to Ward 10?
Businesses that will benefit Ward 10. I don't want factories that are going to continue to pollute Ward 10. I mean, we got that with the Noble Toxic Road dump situation. Amazon would most likely be a good choice from what I've seen of them. They tend to be a bit more corporately responsible than some of the other businesses that I've looked at. Businesses that can benefit us, and at the same time that we can contribute to also, and who will give us a generous payroll tax base.
All right. So, do we have another caller? All right, caller. Bring the caller on. Caller, are you on the air? Yes.
Mr. Davis. In terms of making you safe, I kind of touched on this earlier. One of the things that we need to do, we need more police. And it's just as simple as that. We have a shortage, but we also need to add something in the charter. We need to bring back that residency requirement in the charter where city workers are required to live in the city of Cleveland. Things were better, much better when we had that requirement in there. So that's a huge piece of that. But the main thing is the police department. I mean, we need the visibility, we need the manpower, and we need them out there actually stopping criminals. Those who are actually trained to, according, like I said, to the Obama consent decree. Does that answer your question?
Okay. Okay. We'll be right here waiting for you, sir. All right. So, no problem. Thank you very much. And please call in and tune in again. Also, I have on Facebook Live, Emma Craver is watching, and Rico Dancy is watching. Hello, Rico.
Hi, Rico.
Hi, Rico. So, now, do you think does Warrenton have a mini station? For those who don't know, a mini police station?
I don't believe we have a mini police station. As far as I know, we have the 5th district.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that's closest, and that's the one that we're using. It's funny you mentioned the mini police station though, because I do want to see something like that, especially with regards to community and police kind of coming together.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Some type of I guess I want to call it community policing,
Mm-hmm.
where the people in the community, the people in the police department kind of work together,
Right.
To stop crime. Basically, there needs to be some type of healing that goes on. It needs to go on between the people though, because a lot of people are kind of disappointed, I guess, when I say we need more police. They're thinking that that's not the answer, but it is. It's part of the answer.
Okay.
Trained police. So.
Right. So pretty much more community policing.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want a mini police station or not?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind having that as long as, we set up the correct parameters. So I don't have an issue with that. The main piece, though, that I do want is the community policing part.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's needed. There are people that really do care about their communities. I mean, I've met them. They live next to abandoned houses, that can be rehabbed or knocked down, and yet they care about their community. They're fixing up their lawns. They keep their houses painted and that.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's what's up. We got another call. You're popular today, aren't you? You're popping. The melon is popping today, Nicole, for you. All right,
Perfect.
caller. Yeah, caller. You're on the air. And go.
Wait, I didn't hear the end of your question. Would I be able to do what? Okay, so let me go with the first one first. You asked what services were available to seniors?
Yes, seniors.
Okay. Here's the thing. There are tons of services available to seniors. What services you get, honestly, just depends on who you talk to when you call City Hall. There are tons of services already available. They're just not always letting you know what the services are. So I think that's the interesting part, because, I mean, I've called myself my parents are senior citizens, for example, and they live right in the ward, and I've called myself for them, and depending on who I talk to, I get different answers. Right now, as far as I know, if you want to do something with bingo that's outside of your home, you can visit one of the churches. There are several churches, large and small, in the ward. So that's something that you can definitely check into. They have all types of programs and fun nights and game nights and things like that. With regards to your second question, I believe you asked about, I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Safety, police and safety, as far as adding more police.
Oh, city council. Here's the thing. I can certainly request, as a councilwoman, I can certainly request that police put more effort into policing a community. But in terms of saying, okay, I need X amount of police for this area, that's not something I can do without assistance from the mayor. The mayor kind of controls that budget. That's not something that we can do as city council. We can always request, but that doesn't mean that that request will be fulfilled.
Okay.
So hopefully that answers your question. Well, they don't patrol this area because, number one, this area, and just like the rest of the wards, they're not a priority. Downtown is the priority. Right after college, I lived in downtown for about a year, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's very safe there. It's very beautiful. I mean, you can jog at 3 in the morning. I used to do that. You can jog there at 3 in the morning. Nobody bothers you, and there are no worries. You have police on bike, on foot, even on horses driving down there. So, again, that's something that the mayor has to kind of address, whoever the next mayor is going to be. It's not a priority. That's what it boils down to. You have to remember 50% of the tax base for Cleveland comes from downtown Cleveland. And I'm not saying that that's a justification for police not patrolling the wards like they should, but there are not enough police, and those extra resources are put into downtown. Yes, you do, I'm sure. As do I, and see, here's the thing, that at this point, folks need to kind of get out and vote. Vote career politicians out of office. Look at some of the candidates, that have, solid platforms. I'm talking about the mayoral candidates at this point, and vote accordingly. Career politician by definition is not for the people. If you take a Merriam-Webster dictionary and you look up the word politician and look up the definition and you add career in front of it, they're not for the people, and that's the problem. I've heard so many people, especially in the Glenville area, where I spent 2 months walking, so many people say things like, well, I keep voting in, I keep voting, and it's the same person, They're not doing anything. Yeah, because you keep voting in career politicians. So that's the problem. Career politicians are part of an establishment. They're not for the people.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I hope I have your vote, ma'am. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Anna Maria Core is watching on Facebook. Yeah, she's like, Anna Maria, how are you? She says hello. And Nicole says hello. So, speaking of career politicians, this is the headache question, and I usually give this to everybody.
Lay it on me.
All right. You have so many good, full of ideas. Great ideas about this and that.
Yeah.
You get in there, will you change your philosophy and go with the flow just like the other career politicians did, or will you try to make sure that you create waves, not just ripples, but big waves to change things?
Well, Larry, I've already done that in terms of creating great waves, big waves, truth be told. To answer your first question, no, I'm not going to change my philosophy, and I'll tell you why. I have 3 graduate degrees. I'm not bragging. I'm saying I don't need the city council job to make a good living. Okay, I probably would, actually I would be better off staying in corporate America if we're talking about money, for example. So you and the voters need to understand that some of these folks have been in here so long. I mean, they're on the public dole. Public service in terms of a career was never meant to be that way. Okay, it was never meant to be in a situation where somebody is just running and winning, and because at that point they become part of the establishment. So to answer your question, no, my philosophy will not change. I am for the people because I am one of the people. If you go to my Facebook page, Nicole Wells USA, you will see some of the videos that I have. One of the first things out of my mouth is that I am not a politician. I don't seek to be a politician. I am seeking to work in politics. I think there's a difference.
Okay. And what about experience? So like you're going to be coming in pretty much if you win, or in your case, when you win, green. So how would you be prepared for some of the policies that you have to deal with, and how would you get along with your fellow council people?
So we got 3 different questions here. Let's address the first one.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't say that I was green at all. I have 15 years of experience in terms of serving others. CMSD, the work that I did there, that's a very political environment in spite of the goals that we had in terms of what we were trying to do. The work that I've done in corporate America, the jobs that I've had as a lecturer, as a professor, there's politics all around that. There's getting along with people. There's working to get things done. I've held leadership positions, so I'm not afraid of controversy or adversity at all, or conflict, and honestly, I don't shy away from it. You can't, because if it festers, it's like a cancer and it'll destroy whatever is going on. You asked another question, or you asked how would I get along with my colleagues?
Yes.
Oh, I would absolutely get along with my colleagues. The question is, how well would they get along with me? Because a lot of them, I mean, it's the truth, a lot of them are career politicians. If you look at some of these folks and you look at their voting record, you look at what they've tried to do, they haven't done a darn thing. I mean, that's why people are so that up. That's why you have some wars and some races where you got 9, 10 people running. It's not so much, I don't think, it's not so much because people are saying, I just want this seat. There are a couple like that. One lady said that she was running just because the seat was open. So there are a couple like that. But the majority of us that are running, we're running with good intentions because we want change. I really do think the change is in the air. It's just that it's up to the voters to make the right decision. And right now, the right decision for Ward 10 is Wells, Nicole Wells. And it's just that simple.
Right.
Not me being arrogant. It's not a brag. It's true.
And people have flatlined. Oh, so I'm just saying, I mean, the reason that I asked you these questions is because, you know, this is as for people, the voice of the voiceless. So the thing is that if I don't ask you these questions, I'm not doing a service to the public that I represent as far as my listeners. So, so the thing is that if you had a chance to change okay, if you win, what is the first 3 months of a Nicole Wells Councilwoman Ward 1 establishment looks like?
First of all, I want to do something with getting more police in here to keep us safe. I think I just told you this, but 1% of U.S. cities are safer than Cleveland. I mean, you want to talk about Cleveland all in? We're all in poverty and all in danger, according to that stat. And it's not something that somebody made up, so that's one thing. The second thing I want to do is talk about getting a real bona fide supermarket in Glenville and a couple of other areas in the ward. I'm sorry, but Save a Lot, folks, that is not a real supermarket. I don't eat there. I refuse to shop there, and I don't expect taxpayers or anybody else in the ward to shop.
Thinking about getting a Whole Foods or something like that in
Not
there?
even a Whole Foods, and Aldi's will do. I like Aldi's. They got that money back, double money back guarantee. They guarantee their food. They have organic food. It's a bona fide supermarket. A Dave's will do, okay? Something along those lines, but the East Side Market is cool, but here it is. West Side Market, directly across the street from the West Side Market, actually it's diagonally across the street from the West Side Market, they have a Dave's. They have 2 major supermarkets right there, and they're thriving and functioning. And I'm not understanding why right now in Glenville you have the construction of the East Side Market. You know, I asked Councilman Johnson about that. I asked him, my gosh, why is it a food desert over there? What are these people eating? Because many of them cannot travel outside of the area. He mentioned something about divestment, and I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But then he mentioned something about that the East Side Market is under construction. And my question is, okay, well, you've been in for 8 years? Why is it just now under construction? So it doesn't make sense to me. So that's something else I want to do. But the number one thing I want to focus on again is safety. So many people, I've talked to these people, so many people go to bed at night and they're afraid. And it's as simple as that.
Right, I understand that. Well, you know, before we go to break, I just want to make sure downtown you can run at 3 o'clock. Or downtown you can jog at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning in the other wards, you might be running from some people. Say it. Sorry, that's how I feel. But we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna ask, you know, the last thing, and we're playing Phil Collins' "Easy Lover." When we ask about midnight tomorrow night, you got a decision to make. So, where can you donate, volunteer? You want to hit the streets with her tomorrow? So I'm gonna ask her where she's gonna be tomorrow. Last day before the primaries are over. So this is Larry H. Gardner with Nicole Wells, Headlines and Headaches. We'll be right back. And the Lions are ready after a week-long period. Peace.